Hi everyone, welcome to our crash course in professional development. Today we'll be covering resumes and networking. I'm Dasha Peppard. I'm the Assistant Director of Student Professional Development here in CST, and I have with me Jess and Gigi.
Hi, my name is Jess McLaughlin. I am an advisor for CST and the co-chair of the First Gen Initiative in CST.
Hi everyone, I'm a senior, my name is Guercie or Gigi. I'm a senior biology major, minoring in sociology of health, and I am a CST peer advisor.
Great, and so we will start with resumes and then move to networking. So I'm going to share our Canvas page because that is the place to go for resume resources. So if you go on this tab here on the left, and we will go through first general resume guidelines, then applicant tracking systems, we'll go through a resume template, and then we'll cover our resume review services. So general resume guidelines, you can have your course projects on there, particularly capstone and summer internships, completed research where you'd include the lab and PI, the primary principal investigator. And your descriptions of what you do under your experiences should demonstrate skills and not tasks. So you want to highlight teamwork, problem solving, communication. You want to quantify as much as possible. So how many team members you worked with, how many data sets you solved, you looked at, any information like that that you can include. And you'll want to list your experiences in reverse chronological order within each section. So that means you want your most recent experience at the top. You'll also want to include your technology and lab skills that you've learned or used. And you want to keep your resume to one page with 1/2 inch to 1 inch margins. And the font size you want to use is 10 to 12 point font. All of your dates should be on the right-hand side, and you want to use standard bullets instead of symbols. And the fonts that you want to stick to are the more traditional ones, so Arial, Helvetica, Times New Roman, German, Georgia, Cambria. And use .doc or docx files when saving and submitting your documents, unless the job that you're applying to specifies otherwise. So here we have a list of recommended action verbs to use on your resume. And you want to start with every bullet point having one of these action verbs. Verbs not to use because they're not specific enough. They include assist, help, support, responsible for, things like that. And when you're creating your bullets, you want to use the ACR formula. So action, context, result. So what action verb, what you did, the context further explains what it was, and then the result, so the outcome or how you completed that task. Well, or project. This is a great video to watch from Google. And some other things to avoid. So you want to avoid using page headers and footers. You don't want hyperlinks on your resume at all because applicant tracking systems, that's the artificial intelligence used to read resumes, they get tripped up on hyperlinks sometimes. Applicant tracking systems also have a hard time with columns or tables. And you also want to avoid acronyms or abbreviated terms unless you are using a term that is in the job description. Here are links to more guides and applicant tracking systems. So the keywords that you have in your resume are very important. So you want to tailor each resume for each specific position based on the keywords in the job description. So a great way to make this process more efficient is to have a master copy of your resume that you use to tailor to each job. And so another thing to keep in mind is that less is more when it comes to design and formatting. So you don't want it to be very elaborate. Just a standard traditional resume is the way to go. Because some recruiters will see a more designed resume and automatically reject it. Then this is an article to check out that has more information about making resumes that are compatible with applicant tracking systems. So make sure to check that out. Here are our resume templates. So we have resume templates for science majors and then for tech majors. So here is our science non-senior resume. And I recommend to use this exact template. You can change the font if you'd like, but you just input your information into this. So you have your name, your contact information. This is how you want to format your education section, and have your coursework completed. Make sure to capitalize each letter. You can have lab techniques and your research experience. And here you'll have your position, the place you worked, and then the city, and then your date on the right here. You also have your work experience. And so definitely include any work experience that you've had, whether it's waitressing or being a lifeguard, because the skills that you've learned in those jobs are all, sorry, one second. The skills that you have in those jobs are all relevant to any job that you'll be applying to. So whether that's a job in tech or in science, whether you're applying to internships or full-time positions, in your previous positions, you've learned soft skills like working on a team, having a manager, working on deadlines, things like that. Then you can have your volunteer experience and then activities that you are involved with. The science senior resume is very similar, so if this applies to you, check it out. And then we have our tech resume templates. So here you want to make sure that you include technical projects, and it's highly recommended to have an independent technical project to include on your resume. Okay, so, and this, oh, one more thing before we go on to our review services. So here is the file for how to put research on your resume. So these are different examples of ways to format research if you have research experience. So our resume review services. So for a virtual review, you would click here to submit your resume on Handshake, and you will get feedback with comments. And then you can also make appointments with Rose and I. Rose is our Director of Professional Development. And then you can also make appointments with the University Career Center. Okay, so that covers resumes. So now we're going to jump into networking. And so networking is really about building relationships and doing research for career fields that you're interested in. So your resume is more likely to be looked at if you have a connection at the organization that you're applying to. So networking is really important in the job search process and in the job career exploration process. So informational interviews are typically 20 to 30 minutes, and they are conversations with Temple alums or other professionals with job titles that you are interested in having in the future. And so they're really a way to gather information about career fields, employers, and roles that you're interested in. And so they can be done in person, over the phone, or over Zoom. So examples of questions that you could ask in an informational interview are, what is your favorite part of your job? What kinds of projects are you working on right now? What does a typical day look like? What kind of advice do you have for someone like me? And you can also, and this is definitely recommended, to ask them if there's anyone else that they could connect you with to talk to. And you'll always want to follow up with a thank you note after these conversations. So I will share our Canvas site resources for networking. So here on this side, we have employer and alumni outreach. So connecting with Temple alums directly. So OWL Network, this is a database of Temple alums that you can get in touch with. And you can also join the OWL Network with your LinkedIn profile, with your AccessNet information. So this is where you would go to get started with that. There's also the CST OWL to OWL Mentor Program. And so this is structured around 4 virtual meetings over the course of 2 semesters. So students and mentors are matched by criteria that are mutually beneficial to both participants. And so you would have several meetings with your mentor to learn about career fields that you're interested in. And then connecting with alums and employers on LinkedIn is another great resource. So we have a LinkedIn alumni tool, and here you can check out some more guidelines for connecting. So things like researching the person that you want to talk to, researching the company that they're working at, and sending them a request on LinkedIn, and then a message, something along the lines of, I'm a current Temple biology student interested in working in biotechnology, in research. I would love the opportunity to talk with you for 20 minutes to learn more about your career. And so send these notes off. Temple alums are very willing to chat usually, and you can learn a lot this way and build those connections to develop your network. So those are the Canvas site resources. So now I'm going to turn it over to Gigi so that she can share her experience with networking.
Thank you for all that information. It was very helpful. I have had a lot of different opportunities at Temple because I've had a chance to network with a lot of different faculty. For example, I'm a part of the Mark U Star program that is funded by the NIH, and it's research, and it's also career and professional development. And I learned about this opportunity through Rose McGinnis, who is one of the people who runs the professional development at CST. And I didn't really think that I would be the right fit because I didn't have research at the time, but honestly, she leaded me in the right direction. And because of that connection, I have been doing research for the past 2 years, and it's actually something that I want to do in my later years. I've also had a chance to network with different doctors at Temple Hospital. I am an AYS volunteer, and so we do rounds and other things and help patients in different kinds of ways. And I saw a physician, and I ended up talking to her and getting to know her. And I asked her if she wanted to get coffee the next day. And so me and her got coffee, asked her questions about how she got there, where she came from, the different obstacles she had to overcome. And then she told me, after we spoke, I learned a lot about what she did, and she then offered for me to shadow her. So through talking to different people, introducing yourself, and being fearless, you can learn more about yourself, but learn more about the field that you're interested in. And if someone says no, and if someone doesn't email back the first time, maybe send a follow-up email, because a lot of people get a lot of emails during the day. Networking definitely has helped me in every single step in my journey at Temple, and I highly recommend talking to people and asking them what they do, even though it might not be something that you are particularly interested in, because you never know what the opportunity can lead you to.
Thanks, Gigi. Jess, did you want to?
Yeah, I guess I could. I wasn't sure if I should share, but this past couple days, or I guess Monday and Tuesday, I went to a conference, and I'm not really great at networking, but it's definitely something that you can learn and practice and get better at. And so I picked up some strategies and learned some just small things just to start a conversation. And I practiced in my horticulture class, and I ended up having a nice big group of people talking to each other, and it was just nice to like see it all like work out.
Yeah. So I'll share an experience that I had with networking. So my senior year of college, when I was trying to figure out what my next step is going to be, I talked with my thesis advisor if she could connect me with anyone who works in higher ed, because that's the field that I was interested in. And so she connected me with her former teaching assistant who got her master's degree in higher ed from Michigan, that's my undergrad school. So I met with her, learned all about her career path and what she's currently doing. And she offered to connect me with someone in the Career Center who was her former classmate. This is at Michigan's Career Center. And the person I met with is a career coach. And that is the job that I was interested in learning more about. And so, I asked how to start, where to go first after graduating. And so the career coach that I met with, she told me about the Michigan College Advising Corps, which is a program to increase high school students in going to post-secondary education. And so this is a national program that has, what's the word I'm looking for? Not branch campuses, but chapters. There we go. Has chapters all over the country, in Pennsylvania, in Michigan, New York. And so after learning about this program, I applied and got a position as a college advisor. So I was employed through the University of Michigan, but my day job was in Ypsilanti Community High School. And so I worked with high school seniors through the college application process. I loved it, confirmed that advising is the field that I want to go into. And I learned about this opportunity through networking. So from my advisor to her former student to the teaching assistant's former classmate. So that really launched my career in higher ed. So then after I went to grad school for it, and now I'm here. So that's just one example of how that can go. So thank you all for watching, and be in touch if you have any questions. Our contact information is on the Canvas site as well. Mine and Jess's.
Well, I have one question from the RSVP. So somebody asked, when is a good time to start looking for internships?
So honestly, you can most companies and organizations hire sophomores and up. But if there is an organization that hires freshmen, then you can certainly apply. So, and so if you're a freshman, two things to consider are also on-campus jobs at Temple and research. So no matter what your major is. And also, so that'll give you experience for when you're applying to internships. So, but sophomore year, usually when that starts, and then junior year is when internships are most organizations look for junior year interns.
Thank you so much.
Did we have any other questions?
I think that was it.
Okay, great. All right, well, that wraps it up for the day. Thank you all.
Awesome. Bye.